So I want to share with you a little bit of the meditation for today. The title of it is December 19th, because sometimes I go rogue and do different ones, but it is December 19th, and it's trait 14, and it's called para-alcoholics, also known as codependents, are reactors rather than actors. Before ACA, many of us ran from one person to another, one idea to another, found better jobs, sought solutions for our medical ailments, read all the self-help books. We tried anything to change the way we felt. We were so mixed up inside, wondering why everyone else seemed calmed and reassured, while we had fireworks going off in our brains and our bodies. Each time we jumped into frantic action, the results were usually hurtful to ourselves or others. There was one other thing I wanted to read. Oh, self-reflection is imperative during these times. Stopping ourselves before we react inappropriately, and even in mid-sentence, helps us to gain self-confidence and positively affirm ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but I could feel the energy before, like by the time I got off the airplane, before I made it to the customs line, I could feel the holiday energy in the air. And I really didn't see people yet. You know, it's just a lot of carpet and a lot of hallways, and then boom. And I had this immediate sense of, oh shit, what do I need to do? Now, granted, this is like 10:15 at night by the time I got through customs, and I'm making it through to the car where my husband and my boys were. And I was already like talking to myself going, it's okay, Am. You've planned this. You already know what's going to, like, I'm already trying to self-regulate. I haven't even made it to my husband and my kids yet. The energy is already happening. So it's come up this week with friends, loved ones, in sessions with my team, the energy that's happening, the chaos that's happening. If you don't know or you don't follow astrology, we're also in a huge retrograde, which is creating lots and lots of emotions and creating a lot of opportunity for shedding. But I wanted to talk about the chaos and the energy in the world right now, holiday timing inclusive, and what it means to be a codependent in recovery. Year after year after year, I find myself doing what I did when I walked from the customs line to the car. Not that I fly that often, but the whole attempt to self-regulate this time of year happens every year for me. Every year. And it really doesn't sound that different either. I find myself maybe catching it a little sooner. And what I'm describing is my old patterns, what some of us in the rooms call stinking thinking, or the dysfunctional patterns that keep me in my role, that keep me repeating the same old thing over and over again. And what it looks like for me, my program is codependency. What it looks like for me is I feel like I need to be doing 15 different things and I'm not doing any of them. And my anxiety is rising because I'm not doing any of them. And my critical parent, that voice in my head that has a fucking PhD in telling me how much I suck, she gets louder. And normally, when she gets louder, it's situational and circumstances. It's not like it is this time of year. This time of year, it's consistent. It's like it drags on longer. And I know it's related to the holiday season, but it's related to the need to please culturally, from my family culture, from my own pathology. And it's all about, what are you going to wear to that? Do you have a gift for her? Did you buy that yet? You have wrapping. I'm going to make up that you guys resonate with some of these things. And I get really sassy in the new year with New Year's resolution, but right now I want to talk about holidays. And the gift that I want to offer, which I was told on the Costa Rica retreat that I just got back from, which, if you didn't know, it was called the Wild Woman Retreat. And yes, it was wild. The gift that I was told by the women that I gave them at the end of their retreat was, whose fucking rule is that? Apparently, I said that a few times and they loved it. That's an Amberism. Of course, don't Google it. But it's meant to help me stay in alignment with who I am today. Because what, in my opinion, my recovery is about working towards my truest and highest self and accepting all the shadow parts of myself along the way that I had to do to survive. And the rules that were put on me is what I spend my recovery taking off of me. And frequently I'm saying out loud, just like I'm saying it to you guys, or just like I did on the retreat, is I'm doing something and I'll go very literally, whose fucking rule is that? Like I'm talking to my past self. I want her to answer me because whose rule am I following? Like I'm a 43-year-old woman. I mean, I'm very grateful my mom is still here. She's going to be 75 and the relationship is the way I want it to look now. And a lot of my relationships are a lot healthier, but please don't be confused that my patterns, they still come. They still show up. And I also don't mean that as fuck, Amber. Like, what's the point? I don't mean it that way either. Because what happens is each year, it's the opportunity to reinforce it. It's the opportunity that I get to say, oh, no, 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 no. We are not doing that. We are not going to go cut down a Charlie Brown Christmas tree that has a snake hidden in it and put it in the living room. And then I'm going to be miserable because it has holes all in it and I can't shove enough lights in it. No, we're not doing that. We have our own traditions and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Just because I did that in childhood doesn't mean I do that in adulthood. That's what I mean by whose rule is that? When I feel guilty because I have this really beautiful artificial tree with no snakes, mind you. Yes, that's a true story. There's no animals in it that aren't supposed to be in it. And it's pre-lit. Do you know what that means? That booger is up in like 30 minutes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. There's no yelling. There's no cussing. There's no tempers flaring. That's a pretty big new tradition for us. And when I try to enjoy it, sometimes critical parent, my narrative sounds like, yeah, she's pretty, but she's not real. And you can't smell the cedar. Like she starts. And I say, whose fucking rule is that? Who made that up? And it was something that I did enjoy, and it does bring up very special memories for me that I hold very sacred. However, it also takes me out of alignment. I find myself doing a lot of things I don't want to do just because I think I'm supposed to. Or I'm following a lot of rules, whether it's by society or the fucking HOA or the neighborhood or whoever. I'm following all these rules except for my rules. And so I want to offer that tonight as when we look at our recovery and stepping away from reacting and stepping into acting, like this is my world. This is my experience. I get to be the main role in my experience as you guys do in all of yours. And I just want to offer you, like, whose rule is that? Am I doing it because I'm in alignment with that and I really love it? Or is that a should have, supposed to, cultural etiquette shit? Because if I'm out of alignment, it's probably not going to bring me any joy. And if I am out of alignment and I stay out of alignment longer than my body is used to being out of alignment, what that looks like for Amber is my anxiety is up and I can't figure out why. I don't know why. It's like, what's going on? What am I worried about? I'm ADSing and it's like, no, like I don't want to do any of that. I go to the Dollar Tree and I buy 15 gift bags because I don't like wrapping. Everything goes in a bag. I just want you guys to notice what's happening in your body and notice There's a saying, is this a principle? I think it's a saying. I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter. The further I get into recovery, the harder I have to protect my peace because I crave it. The peace, the calmness, the contentness that maybe certain times of year come easier for me. When there are these experiences that require me to go in and out of family of origin, which for me can be really triggering, I want to stay more in alignment. I want to stay closer to my recovery. And what that looks like for me, because I want to enjoy it, I want to be the actor of it, is I just want to make sure that I'm in alignment. I want to make sure the rules that I'm following is because I want to do it. And if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. And there was a time in my life that would bring me a lot of anxiety. And so I'm really grateful that now it doesn't. I don't experience it that way. But to be able to look at how you're showing up for yourself in your holiday of whatever you celebrate during your holiday time, but just being able to do it the way that you want it to look, being able to show up the way that you want to show up. And recognizing that the best way to know that is to follow your body rather than your thoughts. Thoughts, almost always wrong. Body, never wrong. And it's okay if you don't always understand the messages from your body. Sometimes that's the reflection that we need back from our safe people, from our fellow travelers, from our safe community, recovery community. Sometimes when we get that reflected back and we connect about it, that becomes really clear. But the point that we follow the body is the biggest thing. It is the compass. It's the North Star. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope it resonates with you and gave you some permission to look at what rules you're following and which ones you actually want to be following. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys for experience, strength, and hope. I'm going to offer a couple of tools, but before we go into the tools help me in my relationship with me and me. And I guess this could be considered a tool too, but I want to offer a reframe that just because it's something I want or desire doesn't mean my body knows how to receive it. I know I feel like I reframe that or validate that a lot in different settings that I'm in, and I teach about it a lot. And I will very transparently say I teach what I need to learn the most because I know human behavior. I know a lot of it. And when it comes to recovery, there's a lot of human behavior that's really hard to lean into. Healthy connection can feel really uncomfortable. Connection in general can feel really uncomfortable. And when I'm working on the relationship with me and I'm by working on that relationship, establishing more and more trust with me, that's how I learn to trust others. So this time of year doesn't mean that I'm trusting myself less. It means to me that there's more of the soul wound that I get to heal. And it, for me, I'm going to speak in the I, it does feel lonely at times. And the reinforcement of that is the awareness that I can't heal myself outside of my body. This external locus of control that I did for decades doesn't heal me. It just makes me sicker. So when I am lonely, I want to have this awareness of, am I isolating and shutting down? Or am I recharging and self-assessing? Because I don't need anybody else to beat me up. I do a good enough job of that. And sometimes most of you know semantics. I'm I'm really big on semantics because words carry energy, thoughts carry energy. And as energetic beings, when I'm saying things I don't mean, I'm bringing in the wrong energy. And I'm confused enough. I don't need more confusion. So when I offer these reframes of, am I isolating or am I taking a necessary pause? Because there's a shit ton of people around me, you guys excluded, that are not at my level of recovery and can feel very draining to me. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few weeks ago, we talked a little bit about the blog that I wrote, and it was about vibrational frequencies. And when we work so hard to raise our frequency and get to this place of peace, get to this place of love and connection, we're talking about like 400 megahertz from where we used to live in fear and in scarcity. That is a huge discrepancy. And what I mean by that is when my vibrational frequency on a daily, hopefully I work towards that peace and contentment, and then I am interacting with someone at a much lower frequency, that's automatically going to drain some of my energy. It's magnetic for them. Like this other person isn't doing anything wrong, but that's just how science works. And it's also why it's so important for us to have this awareness of what my body feels like. Because when I'm with people that drain me versus with people that lift me, boy, does my body tell me, right? Like it's what keeps me coming back. It's boy, when I first started meetings, I was like, fuck, I hate these things. And now like I'm sitting looking at my watch going, I would be with them right now. Not that I didn't enjoy the jungle. I loved the jungle, but I like my routine. I like my safety. I like my people. And it's because I get fed here. That's why it's so easy for me to do this. I get fed with my family of choice versus when I'm in other experiences. Well, the reason that my judgment says I don't like this, or my little girl says, I don't like this, it's because the frequency is so much lower. It's draining me literally. So I just want to offer that as a reframe for you, that when you're looking at what I want and desire, and I may not have in my brain, the way I envision this is almost like a extension cord and how it plugs into the wall. I might be building that receiver, receptacle, whatever that's called, that it plugs into. I might still be building that. And so it doesn't mean that I don't want it and I don't desire it. It just means that I'm still cultivating and creating it. So I want to keep trying to plug it in, and I want to keep continuing to be vulnerable and connect with my safe people, because that is what builds it. That is what creates it. So that when I am invited to these things that I don't want to freaking go to, and I do go, and I'm like, oh, that was so much better than I thought it would be. That's why. It's like, oh, I got the opportunity to keep doing it. And because I kept caring for myself, and because I kept surrounding myself with what I want to be and what I want to become, I now belong and fit. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's a really beautiful process, and it doesn't happen overnight. And I know for me, I still have these experiences, and I still have to like do myself a little pep talk to get out of the house sometimes. But I just want to offer that as a reminder and self-validation and this self-compassion of, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not the problem. I don't have to internalize this. And I still deserve it, want it, and desire it. It's just going to take me a little bit of practice to know how to receive it. The tool that I want to offer is, there's a saying that I'm going to really show my, etiquette's not the right word, but that's what I'm going to say. Etiquette, in that I think this is also or I've been told that this is a religious phrase or religious something. I didn't know that. I just thought it was this really amazing chant that this country singer did. You can laugh at me, it's okay. And the phrase is "be still and know." It's in the ACA meditation, and it's very powerful to me. Leanne Rimes is the one that does the chant. If you're interested in it, it is visceral in my body when she does it. And I mentioned that as far as religious practices, because you might be like me and I have religious trauma that really turns me off from some of those things. But I just wanted to point that out, that I didn't even know it was related to that. And it doesn't reference that at all in the chant if you want to Google it and try it. But it's just a few minutes long, and she sings the "Be Still and Know" as a chant because she's a yogi. But what happens on an energetic level, on a frequency level, is the more she sings it, the higher the frequency gets. And so what you'll notice in your body is your frequency will rise, which allows you to go deeper emotionally. And so, yes, it is the same thing over and over again. And if it's a practice that you have, it is what we mean in recovery when we say, take a breath, take a pause. It is the, I was saying to someone this morning, I feel like I came back from the jungle and somebody pushed me onto a train going 150 miles an hour. Like, it just feels like I'm in a snow globe and there's so much happening. And her response was, well, guess we're supposed to sit in the dining car and just sit back and have some hot cocoa while let it go. You know, like, there's nothing I can do to stop the train, right? But I sure as hell don't have to go 150 miles an hour. Like, that's not in alignment for me ever anymore. But the "be still and know" just gives me the awareness to see that I'm in the snow globe, to know that I'm on the train. That's my recovery. That's the awareness. It's, okay, all this shit's going too fast, and it's not me, it's the world around me. So I don't have to go that fast. Recognizing that it is my experience, it does not have to be what I'm doing. And finally, what I want to offer a little bit from what we talked about before I left is that recognition of those four bodies. Remember, we have the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the energetic body or spiritual body, whatever word fits for you. The check-in on these four bodies can be really helpful. It can be really helpful when I was describing earlier that the longer I'm out of alignment, the higher my anxiety rises. And so this is a personal tool of mine. When I check in with those four bodies, and it takes me about 30 seconds to a minute, not at first, but now it does, I'm able to recognize, oh, emotionally, like, I'm not okay. And sometimes that means a little connection. Sometimes that means a little journaling. Sometimes I can go stand in the cold grass outside in a few minutes and I'm good. But it is the awareness of recognizing that I am made up of all four of these bodies, and I actually can influence them. I can say, I'm not going to participate in this chaos. Like, I see the chaos, I feel the chaos, and I don't have to participate in that. That's what I say every retrograde. FYI. So be still and know, whether you use that literally as a phrase to take a pause and breathe, or if you want to try the chant, and then being able to do it just to check in with the four bodies if you notice something feels off, especially this time of year. Because what a lot of you are speaking into is your emotional body. It is this place of grief where, if we remember, grief is cyclical, much like recovery. It's like I pull one layer down and I'm not done with it. I just get another opportunity to do the next layer at a deeper level. So this realistic expectation of where I am and what recovery looks like is, recovery lets me receive joy. It doesn't mean I have the capacity to put up with chaos. We've been doing that for years. We got a PhD in that. being able to receive and live in the joy is what recovery gives me the gift of. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I really am glad to be home.